Hello and welcome to a new little bit of fun of ours, because Joey and I are not seeing enough of each other at the moment. Give me something, it's called, Joey. It's a little bit of fun, a little bit different. I want an absolute from you, a possible, something that could happen on the weekend, and a roughie. Are you ready to roll?
Ready to rock and roll. Looking ahead to this weekend's footy, round one. Well, why don't you kick us off? You're the man. What's the absolute? What are you looking forward to seeing this weekend?
Well, I want to see some personality from the Fremantle Football Club. I want to see Justin Longmuir release the shackles and let this team play. They've been restricted for too long. He's under pressure because they don't score. It's as simple as that. The competition has said this is how the game needs to be played now. You need to be able to defend, but you need to be able to entertain and excite. I don't know if he's got that capability. I haven't seen it. He's into his 5th year of coaching, and I've got no idea what his point of difference is. He can defend, they did for the last 2 of the last 4 years, but does he really have it in him? They've got Jackson, Sarong, Brayshaw, Young, Jai Amos. They've got all these players that can seriously play. Surely we're past the stage of rebuild. Surely we want to see it. I want to see it in round one. I want to see it against the very best, which is the Brisbane Lions, but they're at home. Do you think he can do it?
Well, I think they're going to build their game plan around defence and contest, which does stack up.
Boring.
Melbourne have played that way. Might be boring as long as they win.
Charlie.
That's all that matters. They've got to win. They've got to win.
Well, my point is, don't die on defence. Don't let your coaching career just fizzle out playing boring footy. Have a crack, release the brakes. That's my absolute.
They do have
what
a
have
young
you got?
superstar. My absolute, I'm going with something that's certain to happen, and that's Max Gawn bouncing back on Sunday against the Western Bulldogs. I haven't seen Max Gawn get beaten like that for, I don't know when, a long, long time. It's a little bit of mail that he might have been a bit crook. He might have been unwell going into that game. So I expect him just to flex his muscles and show that he is still the best ruckman in the comp. Going up against young Tim English, who might be the next big thing on the scene. I reckon Maxie will take him to the cleaners. I think the Demons get the win that they have to get, and he'll lead the way.
How crook's crook? Are we talking?
I'm trying to find.
We're talking ill or an injury?
No, illness. Yeah, illness. He did look it, didn't he? We were there.
He didn't ring you, did he?
He looked flat. No, I haven't. No, I haven't been able to get that one confirmed. Just a little whisper.
All right, I'm going with a possible, and we'll stay with that clash, that game. Liam Jones has been a phenomenon across halfback, centre halfback for the Dogs since he's come back in. I know he's 33 years of age, and I know that he's a bit different. He plays a bit different. He's a very aggressive defender. He could have 15 intercept marks this week. The way Melbourne play and the way they kick the ball straight line and the way that he defends and how aggressive he is. I know his PB's 10, and we're getting carried away with 15. But Melbourne have to find a way around him, or he could just be the one man that defeats the Demons in isolation. Do you think that they would plan to go around him or just take it as it comes?
I think they'll try and go around him.
All right.
Depends who he's got. Has he got his matchup? Has he got Josh Shackey? Has he got Van Rooyen?
What are you saying?
Well,
I know what you're saying. Don't say it. Don't say it. Because your turn now.
Yeah,
what is possible this week?
Well, what is possible, and when I'm looking at it literally, it's possible the Pies go zipping too.
The Pies go zipping too.
Well, Sydney were awesome. We were there. I was really impressed with the Sydney Swans. I wasn't sure about them coming into the season, but they're up and about. Collingwood, I know that there was a one-off, and you get the mulligan. Of course you do. We know how great they are, but they did look just a little bit off. They'd want to get their act together pretty quick, and even they admitted it. And if they don't, Sydney Swans will find them out. And all of a sudden, it's zipping 2. They'll have a big clash against St Kilda coming up, and the Saints, they might steamroll them week 3. I think we give them the mulligan. We get another look at the Pies, but it will become a talking point if they go zipping 2 and they're just struggling to get their game going early.
Zipping 2, are you starting to put a line through teams?
No, you're not going to put a line. Not going to put a line through them, but then you start to look at some trends and start to see. So that's possible. It's possible. Not sure it'll happen, but maybe.
Well, I'm going to give you a roughie. And my roughie this weekend is the Hawthorn Football Club to upset the Bombers, which would shake the foundations of the place. Given what was said, I just want to read a couple of quotes that Brad Scott had in a great interview in the Herald Sun on Sunday with Jay Clark. When you think about it, Reid, Cox, Jones, Perkins, Hobbs, Caldwell, put them all together and it's a profile that isn't dissimilar to players at a club who are rebuilding. I don't like that terminology. The fans should be excited outside of a few veterans, once the veterans have moved on. And they talked about the 8-year window to win a premiership. I mean, tell me a club that's not in an 8-year window right now.
Yeah, every club would like to be thinking within 8 years.
Well, every club. The West Coast Eagles would think they'd win one in 8, wouldn't they?
Yeah, probably.
I found it strange language.
Yeah.
What was the sell to Gresham? What was the sell to Ben Mackay, who was 26 years of age? Heppel, Shield and Stringer are the ones that you're talking about when you're talking about the veterans. So what message are you giving them coming into your first game for the year?
Yeah.
Does it impact your preparation to this weekend?
I reckon he said something similar in going into last season. He was speaking about be patient, there's patience, and then they started the year really well. They fell away late in the year, not the start of the year. So
no, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Yeah, patience was last year. I think we're being conditioned to an ongoing acceptance that it might be mediocre for a little while. I just think it's strange language, and that language, whether you like it or not, permeates through the group.
Yeah.
I think there's an upset. I'm just putting it down as
psychology,
as a little roughie that the psychological side of the game for the Bombers may be impacted.
Okay. Well, my roughie is a bit different because we're looking at the Brisbane Lions now, and Kadeen Coleman, huge blow for them and such an important player. Now, the Brisbane Lions are a team that kick the ball in the back half more than any other team. That's how they build their game, and they've always had kickers. So they got Hodge and Birchall, they've had Daniel Rich for a long time, and Kadeen Coleman has taken over. I think they need to find a kicker at half-back. That's how they build their game. I think it's time, and I reckon you mentioned it last year, early in the year, about suggesting Dane Zorko to go to half-back. I think now's the opportunity for Chris Fagan to get his star veteran, who's 30, I think he's nearly 35, to go and play across half-back and become that man that they need offensively at half-back. Because I'm not sure whether Jared Berry, who's gone back there, Wilmot, McKenna, if he comes back, if that's the type of player that they need, the way they love to set the game up and set the ground up. So if Chris Fagan's watching, I think throw a roughie back there, turns out Dane Zorko into a half-back.
Yeah, he'll be watching, mate. He doesn't miss anything. Can you afford to take Zorko out of the forward line?
Well, I think they can. I think they can. I think they've got enough firepower in their front half with Zach Bailey, Lincoln McCarthy, and we know about Charlie Cameron and the others. And there's enough in the midfield, and they've still got Ashcroft to come back and Jasper Fletcher. Time to allocate him across half-back.
I've got a sneaky feeling this show is going to get us in more trouble than anything else.
Yeah, probably. We're a bit too loose on this, I know.
A little bit loose on this. Hey, great to catch up on Gimme Something. See you next week.